Hello and welcome to this reflection episode of the True to Life podcast, reflecting on both my last 6 months, but also my brother's last 6 months. I think one of the most beautiful things that we get to experience in this life is reflection. It's been a common theme of the True to Life podcast, is taking these moments to reflect and to look back on highlights, shortfalls, and it's not about any of the negative decisions or bad things, bad choices that I've made or we've made as people. It's how we respond, reflect, and move forward. So that is my framing for this little episode. Our nickname as a brother duo, for those listening, is the Shen. So this episode is
our name.
Simply put, we travel as a pack, and you always have my back, and I think it'd be awesome to do a reflection here. So I'm gonna start it off asking you a question. What was the highlight of your day yesterday?
Yesterday was probably the most jam-packed day I've had in a long, long time.
Okay.
And it was the one full day I've spent with you at this house in a while. And we woke up at 6:30 a.m.
Right when the market's open.
Right when the market's open. And back to back to back, we're
running around
doing things. And I have to say the highlight of my day was the fact that I was able to wake up to the sun.
Like where we're sitting right now.
Right now where we're sitting. We're getting this is the real golden hour, if anything.
I agree.
Not 5 p.m. This is the golden hour. Waking up to the sun at this time is all you need. Oh, like waking up in the dark to an alarm. Who feels good doing that? I'm dragging myself out of bed when I'm at UCLA, in my bunk bed, in my dorm, pulling myself to class. What is that? No, open the window. Let the sun pour into your life. So my question to you...
One second. Can we take it before you ask the question?
Yeah, go.
Yeah. Right off the rip there. One saying that I keep coming back to is feeling like I have a refilled cup again. Like, I come home from PGC, my cup is filled. Spending time with you and Jahan these last 2 days, cup filled. And what you're describing is little things. Seeing the sun in the morning, spending time with family, having tasks and agenda items that we're checking off throughout the course of a day. Like, I leave the day feeling full, sleep, recharge, but then I'm also equipped with the ability to pour back into others. So, like, take our dinner, for example, with Simibuji, our auntie. My number one supporter for basketball, number one supporter for okay, I take that back. Number one is definitely my mother. Let's be careful there.
Slow down.
But in terms of basketball, okay, mom too. How about let's just say a foundation.
You love your mom.
I love my
we love our auntie too.
We love our auntie too.
Budgie.
Yeah, let's just calm down here. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. She's just a very...
There's no need to slap numbers or rankings or labels. Yeah. Family is number one. That's the main point.
But being
productive in your day gave you the ability, and fueling yourself gave you the ability to pour into other people.
And I think pour back into family. Yeah. So it's like we have our trip coming up. Next week, and I feel like I'm in the best position ever to, like we've been talking about, be a light and shine bright and pour back into others. So
shine bright like a diamond.
Rihanna's amazing. Okay, all right. That was like one of my thoughts off of Rip. Do you still have your question on deck?
I have to be honest with you. It did completely leave my mind.
That's okay.
It doesn't exist.
That's okay.
It does not exist.
Highlight of the day was seeing the sun in the morning. I would say my highlight of the day, we'll just flip it around on me. Anytime you don't know a question, always just flip it around.
Yeah.
Oh, what about you?
Yeah, that's an easy one. I would love to hear the highlight of yours.
Yeah, I think for me, it was the moment we shared in the evening. Up at the top of the hill, looking at the bridge. We took a little hike up to the top of the hill, and views of Richmond Bridge, Mount Tam, sitting with my two brothers, two people I hold dear, who I haven't spent much time with in the last few months, sitting there. None of us had our phones, and I highly recommend for anyone like listening out there that unplug from the phone. I think the highlight of that is your phone's at Apple getting repaired right now. Jahan doesn't have a phone right now. I left my phone at home to charge. Don't need that thing. I've been on it all day. So why not unplug, be present, and no one knows that we were up there.
I truly believe the number one good habit you can build at night is plugging in your phone, going on a walk right before bed. Not necessarily right before.
If you want a habit stack too, you throw a flossing routine in there too.
A floss on the walk?
Shout out my guy Dane. He was episode 56, part 1.
Read
Major
the book?
flosser. So there's peep game on this. After every single meal, he pulls out his little fanny pack or whatever, and he's flossing. That's his habit stack. And he didn't even know that he was doing it.
After what?
After every meal that he eats, he pulls out his fanny pack, flosses his teeth after every single meal. And he just has floss sticks on him no matter what. That's his habit stack. Because you eat a meal and you stack that habit with flossing.
My only issue is I hate floss, like people that floss like right in front of me. Like
issue here is not flossing. The fact is you're habit stacking.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, I mean, definitely you gotta do what you gotta do though. Who cares? What
Yeah, I
do people
know.
think?
True.
At the end of the day, by any chance you have a question? Has a question came to your mind yet? Just it's still your turn, kind of. Low key. I got one though.
I just want to continue sharing about that night.
Please, you have another
when
thought?
we went on that walk.
Yep.
We're hiking up. I'm crying. We're going up these steps. I'm like, this is a hike. This isn't a walk. I'm tired. We get up there. I'm looking over the marina. I'm looking over the bay from Marin, San Rafael, and I see all the lights. I see Richmond Bridge. I see Mount Tam. And I just step back from my life a little bit. We're hustling around all day long.
You had to live in the CEO life.
Also spending time with family. I mean, we did like so many things yesterday, and then we just step back and we take a seat and we look at how much there is beyond our own little whatever's going on in our minds. There's so much more going on. And I think that's also a really good thing for people to do, is just reminding ourselves that we're part of something bigger.
So I think taking yesterday, for example, to provide a little bit of context, and then we'll pivot. The morning started early, like you mentioned. I had meetings. You were working on the music startup that we're helping assist Robert with, and from there it was a weight room session from 10 to 12. It was running errands. I kind of blacked out from 12:30 to 3:30. I don't even remember what we were doing. I think I was just, where were we? I don't even know.
12:30 to I remember we were
loosely.
We were doing some drop-offs. We were going to the gym. We were...
Yeah. It's like...
We
went to a Corte Madera, dropped your phone off. So a lot of it's not that momentous necessarily, but we did a lot of our deep work in the earlier part of the day. So that's also what I break it up as, is like there's actual time that you're really working, there's times that you're doing things, and there's times that you're relaxing. So it's like I viewed the morning work, like from 6 a.m. to 12, as more deep work, more focused time. From 12 to 5, I call that just doing stuff. And then from 6 to 10, that was relaxing. That was dinner. That was
family,
hiking.
Yeah, that was really
That's
good.
like kind of how I broke up my day, to where it doesn't feel like I'm... This is the other thing, and I'm happy that we're doing this right now because I can share it. This summer, this last month, has a day gone by where anything I've done has felt like work?
It has or hasn't?
Has not felt like work. So...
What do you mean by that?
I love what I'm doing every day. I wouldn't change it.
Do you?
I wouldn't want it any other way. I feel fulfilled in what I do every day. This also includes 2 weeks at PGC in the last 4 weeks, or 3 weeks at PGC.
And these could also be affirmations, because if you continually repeat something, you believe it. So like saying things to yourself over and over.
You don't believe I'm happy with how things are right now?
No, I'm sure that you are happy. But there's a part of belief that is just telling yourself over and over something.
I agree. I am statements,
To
commitment
believe it.
statements.
I am statements, yeah.
For sure. So one thing about you and our relationship is challenging. We challenge each other.
Yeah.
We push back against each other.
We tried
And-
to. That wasn't even pushback.
Not at all, but that's what's always fun is the challenge. We'll hash it out and then come back to it with a fresh perspective. And I think one of the biggest lessons is letting the dust settle.
My body is tired after one day in your life. That's what I have to say. My body is exhausted, and my brain, I needed more sleep today. I went to bed.
John's still sleeping.
I cannot tell you the last
John's
time
still sleeping.
I fell asleep at 11 p.m.
Really?
I've been going to bed at midnight, 1, 2, because that's like what you do when you're like a college student and you think you need to be staying up late with your friends and
You know
doing
what?
school. That's how it is.
You know what I just realized?
I woke up. You've been up for the past few hours, and I'm wondering, like, if I did this every day, would I just adjust to it and start feeling better?
I believe so.
You would say yes.
I would say absolutely.
And I would say, gotta find out.
Gotta find out. I like
Gotta
that.
find out. God, that's gravelly.
That's pretty gravelly. It probably spiked the audio.
What were you gonna say?
I don't know. Train has left the station. The thing is, I wanted to record a solo podcast today, but this episode has filled my cup in a different way.
Has it?
It has. So, to get more out of this episode, I want to briefly
Are we posting this?
leave you alone with the listeners.
Okay. I'll talk to him.
I need you to keep them company because I'm going to grab an index card with a topic that we're going to discuss from Atomic Habits. But before I leave that, I want to add a little context. And this is coming, what are we at right now? 12 minutes in. I've mentioned before, but you just finished your freshman year at UCLA. What's your number one takeaway from this last year at UCLA? Give some context to the institution that you're studying at right now. Please. For me, too. Just because, I'd like to know.
The institution of UCLA is designed to have a large network of people. You're able to build out your... I'm tired of hearing, networking, but really that's what it is. And they do not care about student learning whatsoever. Professors are focused on their personal research, their personal goals. I've never once felt valued by a teacher at UCLA. And I'm sure a lot of students feel like that. And what I've come to realize is that they're never just going to just serve it to you on a platter there. It was the number one public university, but it's that I'm not exactly sure what that means. But what you have to define what it means for yourself. And for me, I didn't take advantage of a lot last year. I could have done a lot more with what I had with myself. And if you're there, like if you don't know exactly what you're doing, sure, if you're like if you're a doctor, if you're a computer science or engineer, or if you know exactly the path you need to be on and exactly where you want to be when you graduate, that's a different story. But for the people like me that are going there, I'm a political science major. I went there undecided. You have to make the most out of your journey. And for a majority of the year last year, I don't feel like I did. Because, like I said, they're not going to spoon feed you, and you have to extract the knowledge yourself. You have to reach out to people. You have to go to events. You have to go to clubs. You have to refine your personal routine. You have to fill your cup and then start filling your friends' cups, your families. And that's the truest thing you said. on the show today.
Thank you. This is in stark contrast to San Juan, where it was a spoon every day.
My high school served me on a silver platter. And I'll say that. I'll say that. I will. Our. We were both the valedictorian of our high school.
We were.
And I love my high school. I do. I love them.
They gave us San Juan definitely provided a bit of a spoon, but a silver spoon.
It was silver.
But it was also making the most of the opportunity.
I also want to say I made some amazing friends in my time at UCLA, and that's what got me through.
You know,
that
funny?
really is what got me through.
I have something to add for you, just
if they're listening.
Might not be aware of this. I come out and say something. I do it all the time when we're recording. I say something, and then I'm like, what do you think? That doesn't sound right.
I know. I'm always worried about what I'm saying, if it comes off right. But
that's the thing about a podcast.
I really shouldn't worry about that.
That's the thing about a podcast, though, and as I've learned, 60 episodes in, that you have to listen to the episode in context, in the entirety of the episode.
You do.
So one clip might not...
I wonder if it just sounds like pure wind right now. I'm getting a breeze. This is our first time recording an outdoor podcast.
It is.
I'm hoping it sounds great.
Absolutely. This is getting posted tomorrow, by the way.
Really?
Yes.
I just sat down. I just woke up.
I know.
And put this bandana on about 30 minutes ago.
I want to unpack UCLA-wise.
I didn't know we were.
I know.
Going straight into the show.
Neither did I.
Just tell me what you want to unpack.
We gotta end in 7 minutes though, because we have bark tunes to work on.
Bark. We gotta bark.
But before we close, I do want to grab that note. But before I do that, you have an amazing opportunity to close 2 more years out, maybe 3.
Yeah.
We've talked study abroad. We've talked get out quick. I mean, there's options.
I really don't know if I can be an RA.
So, I mean, there's things you're going to have to weigh. The opportunity cost.
I'm just thinking about, personally, those dorm rooms, micro.
Yeah, I've seen them. They pack them in 3 to a room.
4 years of guaranteed housing at UCLA. And they put you in a tiny little box.
Well, 10.
With 3 people per room. All triples now, actually, because they needed 500 more beds.
Yeah, so I think UCLA is a business.
It's a business. Yeah, all colleges are. I mean, that's what you have to remember about your school is that they're a business.
And I think, like we were talking about, the contrast of your high school to college, and you have to be proactive in your learning.
Yeah, you do.
And go and grab the opportunity by the neck. And I'm not trying to be vicious and aggressive here, but that's kind of what you have to do.
It's not too crazy.
Not too crazy. But you got to grab that opportunity. And if you don't, it'll pass you by.
Yeah.
So I think learning that this year for you was what was supposed to happen. Talk about this all the time. And for me, Dominican, it's a different story. We talk about this all the time. That in San Juan, being big fish, we were the big guys on campus, small pond.
Well, what made us big?
What made us big?
Who's to say we're big?
I would say in comparison to our
environment. I'm doing the Jordan Peterson thing right now where he just asks questions but doesn't add anything.
That's funny. In comparison to our environment, we were the ones that were on SAC. We were the ones doing the student life stuff on campus. I was an athlete, am an athlete, valedictorian. Then you move to a bigger environment with a bigger pool of people that you're now being compared to. And you shouldn't compare yourself, but the universe does compare. It does. That is a fact. The universe will compare you. It is cutthroat. It is you versus me in a very, very competitive world out there. It is.
The universe, it's just you and God.
Sure. Yeah, I like that. That sounds a lot better.
The universe.
I like that better.
No, the world will compare you, maybe.
Ow. Yeah. It will.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. It's good framing. So this is good. I like recording with guests sometimes because I can get really crazy sometimes. Like, for example, when I recorded with Katie, and I was like, ripping into the private institutions in this area that are closing for student athletes, and she helped, neutralize my take a little bit because I was angry.
I agree with you on the
you.
private institution thing.
And
How are you not telling your students?
And Sonoma.
Why are they not telling their students? Because they're a business. They
They're a
need to
business.
keep you there. They're gonna
Yeah.
they're gonna go send scouting out
Yeah.
to pick you up, and then you're gonna be there for a year, and then they kick you out to Dominican. But that was part of your journey, and it worked
wonderfully. And
out
that's the thing for me.
great.
That's the
Yeah.
part that I, as a hyphen it there is, just because it worked out for me, I don't do this podcast for me. I don't share my journey for me. I share it
Who's it
for the
for?
people out there that it could help, for those that could learn something, for those that
Is it?
this is not for me. You think I do this for me? Actually, I'm asking. Now I'm asking. Not confrontational, but I'm asking.
I did.
You did think I did it
Yeah,
for
I
me.
thought you did it for you.
This is a selfless journey. I don't have thousands of listeners downloading every episode.
That's why I'm saying
I
it's for you.
Oh, okay, so that's a different perspective.
That's my perspective.
So it's for me, but it's not for selfish reasons.
I don't think it's for selfish
No, it's
reasons.
not. I guess I misinterpreted.
Just because it's for you doesn't mean it's selfish.
No, yeah, that's good. That's good context. We're getting in the weeds here. I want to get us back.
Let's get out of
I
want
to get to the atomic really quick. Can you keep the guests, whoever's listening, keep the seat warm?
I can keep them entertained.
All right, good. Keep them entertained. Just tell them a story or something. I'll be right back.
We're back to the show.
This is so I recently finished Atomic Habits. I've mentioned it multiple times, and a lot of page
Really?
numbers.
I don't know if I've heard you mention it.
Yeah, I know. I've been preaching it, so I've been on my soapbox. I already talked habit stacking. I'm going to talk about this bundling later. The 2-minute rule.
Tell me about it.
You're laying in bed. Alarm
Okay.
clock goes off.
Picture it.
You know, even if it's a 5-second, it can even be 5-second rule. It can be 10-second rule. It can be 10-second rule, 5-second rule, whatever.
5-second rule's already taken by food.
Sure, fair. Even though, is that even true?
It's true to me.
Done.
I mean, unless it's sticky. Certain foods work for the 5-second rule. Let's get back.
The amount of time
2 minute.
that you waste teeter-tottering about whether or not you're going to do something, you've already lost the battle. So as we've talked about it.
Decisiveness.
Boom. Whatever the action is. You're going to go get up and go for a run. You just get up out of bed. First step. You know, I was thinking about this when I was sitting eating my eggs this morning. I was thinking, some people say the hardest. You think it's the hardest or easiest thing to wake up in the morning? Or does it depend?
It depends if you smoked weed the night before.
Well, I would have to agree with that. If you're practicing good habits or not.
Yeah, if you're practicing good habits or not. That's really... If you go to bed and you're just loading your brain full of shit, you're going to wake up feeling like shit. That's how I feel. So, yeah, it can... What was the question? It can be your...
hardest thing to do in the morning.
It can be the
or
hardest thing to do,
easiest?
or you can make it the best part of your day, like it was for me yesterday morning.
And
You can.
I'm going to be completely transparent here. This podcast will never be censored.
No, of course not. Don't censor anything.
Never going to bleep anything out. I will apologize for any profanity being used.
Oh,
but
sorry. My bad.
This podcast will always be an authentic space for people to share their voice, their observations, their reflections, and their feelings. That is what's most important to me, is truth and authenticity.
What's the name of the show?
Mm-hmm.
True to Life?
So that's where the 2-minute rule comes in for me.
Tell me.
If I'm sitting at my desk and I know I have a stacked calendar, I've got meetings, I've got class, I've got basketball, I have clients I'm working with, right? If I waste 10 minutes to get up to go clean the dishes, I've
Waste?
lost those time. I've lost that time. If I sit there scrolling, if I sit there
Right.
just not doing it because I don't want to get up and do these dishes, but if I pop up and I don't let it sit and build.
It's been my number one struggle is just sitting and procrastinating.
So that's where the 2-minute rule comes in. You don't let yourself sit in the same, teetering about going back over more than 2 minutes. Ever. And even less if you want it to. 1-minute rule. It can be whatever it is you want it to be. But pop up out of bed and go. Go. Or pop up out of the chair and get started. Because once you get started and you finish, you'll feel better.
Yeah.
And you check that list. You check that mark off. But if you don't check that box off and you don't get up and start the task, it's never getting done.
Yeah.
Ever.
It's true. 2-minute rule. That's a good one because that's probably been the number one reason I've I've struggled. It's just like knowing exactly what I have to do, but then it's just so much easier to open YouTube and, consume something that distracts me from what I really need to get done. We all have struggled with that. Who hasn't? Who hasn't scrolled on TikTok when they need to do something? It gets harder and harder every year.
One thing I have as a thought is,
What's your thought?
I found myself thinking about all of the things from the past that have made me the person I am today. And one thing I can finally say, and this may be an affirmation, this may be an I am statement, but I'm proud of the person I am. And I think more often we need to remind ourselves as people, look yourself in the mirror,
What you have been through.
and be happy and proud of the person that you are. Because we're all walking our own life, our own journey.
You,
our own
Nanak, and you,
experience.
the listener.
Individually.
Yeah.
But look in that mirror, smile at yourself in the mirror.
Oh my God. The number one tip, when I was doing runs, the number one tip was smiling during a run. It makes it so much easier.
It does. Like I found myself pumping my arms in the air, playing music, and listening to music. I was singing the song, smiling. So smile at yourself in the mirror. Be happy. Like we have so much to be grateful for.
It might sound cheesy.
It does.
It works though.
It works.
It
Wins.
does.
It's a winning habit.
It does.
Zubin, any closing thoughts before we shut this down?
My closing thoughts are, dang, the light from the sun on your
I'm
face.
excited to see how this turned out.
You are glowing, and
Thank
actually
you.
the right seat. The right seat is doing great things for you.
So I
I'm
think-
looking a little shaded.
So I think we'll need to do that. We'll put the guest in the right seat. I'll take the left.
No, not necessarily. I
'Cause
think
I think having
I think we might just need to angle the couch. Those are logistics we can worry about
absolutely,
after.
absolutely. Any other final thoughts? Closing thoughts before I wrap this puppy up?
Yesterday has died. Tomorrow is yet to be born. All you have today is the present. You have each individual day to make yourself a better person by 1%. So just keep doing it. Just keep loving yourself, loving your family, and good things will continue to come your way. I love you, Nanak.
I love you too. That is a wrap for this reflection, dive, a little peek behind the curtain of one of the people that I hold most clear and dear to me.
Not a student athlete.
Not a student athlete, but an amazing human being.
You are too.
So this episode has
Truly.
filled my cup, and hopefully that's my saying. Every day my cup is full. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope that something today resonated with you. The number one way to grow a podcast is by sharing it. So please send this to a family, send it to a loved one, send it to a friend. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much, and we'll be back here next time.
Peace.